Welcome to Wandering Monster, Odd and Strange Encounters, our new campaign from Old School Essentials. This week we'll be doing a Session 0, getting to know our characters and beginning our descent into the Stygian Library. We hope you're ready, but beware, those late fees can be deadly. Roll initiative!
Thank you for that introduction, John. That's right. We are going to be playing Old School Essentials, that reboot and streamlined version of the BX rules of the original D&D. It's been modified in a way that incorporates some of the best of the AD&D rules while taking all of the improvements that help to modernize and make this game very much more palatable for modern audiences. There's a couple of things, of course, being in the format that we are going to gloss over. Some of the more meticulous crunch rules that would be great for table play. We're going to make sure that we're focusing a little bit more on the flavor and adventures, as we are going to be diving into a lot of the great material that we've accumulated through all of our years of running the podcast. But no adventure is complete without a group of adventurers. So in a true Session 0 sense, we're going to learn more about these characters, give them opportunity for our players to discuss who these people are and how do they relate to one another in the fictional city they're going to be starting off. And then we'll kind of jump into in media res, an adventure linking into the Stygian Library, a really great OSR supplement dungeon crawl library. But we, of course, need someone to fall upon the anvil of character development and put themselves first. Who amongst you will be such a brave and stalwart soul as to go first?
Anvil, did you say? Well, that must mean it's my turn to go first. Happy to be back on the show after my lengthy hiatus. Tonight I will be embodying, or rather for the next many nights, I will be embodying Leopold Girthwood. And never has wood been so thoroughly girded as when Leopold girds his wood. I am a dumbass dwarf. Low intelligence, high strength, burly as a motherfucker, can drink you under the table. A spark of probably lust, although I like to pretend it's mischief in my eye. Thick red braided beard, just the whole, well, you can't really say 9 yards, the whole 3 yards of dwarf. So yeah, I am in the city because as a semi-literate architect dwarf, I am super broke and in need of, what do they call that stuff? Ducats. Yeah, that's the currency in this setting, right? I need many ducats to pay my debtors, my ducat debtors. So I am out to hire as an adventurer, dungeon explorer, experienced dungeon explorer who's super good at spotting structural inconsistencies and traps and making sure people don't get like an axe swung down from the ceiling in their face and whatnot. So it's me who'll be swinging the axe around these parts. Although I'm not entirely sure that I have one in my equipment. I'll get one if I don't. You better believe it. And that's me.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
I
going
do have an axe.
first.
Good. Okay.
And something that we're going to be exploring is that we have a basic character class or archetype for all of the characters. And throughout Session 0, they're going to be filling in, kind of advancing to that advanced stage and either adding in a class or race, depending what works for them. That way there is a synthesis and kind of a harmonization of players as they are getting great ideas for one another. So thank you for going first, Charles.
I absolutely love the idea of kind of starting with the basic and then advancing to advanced as we get to know the characters better. It's really sweet. I'll go next. I am Skaar Shelobsson, or Shelob's son, if I'm drawing it out. I am a normal human worm baby. Completely human, nothing at all to see here. Don't worry about the multiple eyes or the vangs or the slight hiss to my voice. It's all, look, let's say, just for sort of like hypotheticals, that several years ago during an eclipse, our world touched an alien world that was inhabited by humanoid spider hybrids that found themselves exiled and stranded on our world, our human, like the one that we humans live on. And that one in particular, who had once been a very well-respected ambassador, found himself in a world where he really did not understand the cultures, the languages, any of it, and is now struggling to make sense of his new life. However, he's pretty good at being a sneaky, fast guy, and has discovered the fact that other humans like him are not capable of spinning webs out of their bodies, which has made him a pretty popular adventurer for hire, so long as he keeps his hooded robe firmly over his face, because you know what? He's just so human, it's startling, is really what it is.
Can I make a spider joke here? Because I've been cooking on this one for a minute. Shelobsson, right? As your last name? Well, I think the ability to shoot web is matrilineal. Lineal, like a... Never mind.
That's good.
I'm done. Shh.
All right, I will go next. I am Scrax Wurmguts, and as you can tell, I am a lizard, and I'll get to that. There's a lot of really hurtful misconceptions about lizard people out there, so I'm hoping to dispel some of those with my new friendship in this group. I am, as I said, my last name is Wurmguts. I am of the Ronin Swamp Wurmguts. It's true. I don't want to talk about it, and when I say that, I really mean it. I was exiled. They do not want me talking about them, so I just won't be. And the reason I gave you all that precursor is because I want you to understand that a lot of lizards like myself are reformed in many ways. I know that there are some rumors out there about possible population plans we might have or desiring human flesh, but I am not one of those lizards. I am part of the reform movement. I worship Basiliscus, who is our lizard messiah. He is a Jesus lizard, yes. Some people do call him that. Yeah, I'd love to talk to you more about Basiliscus.
They say he could run on water.
He can run on water. He can. It's one of his many miracles I would love to tell you about. So, yeah, excited to get to know you all. And I'm just want to say that although I do not eat people flesh, there is something especially delicious about Skaar, and I'm really trying not to think about that too hard.
Off to a great start.
No.
I'll go next. I am Jiles the Bland, apprenticed and ward to Adarius the Blue, master of the mystical arts, wielder of powers known and unknown, co-founder of the Council of Five, the mightiest wizards in all the land.
What did you say that was, Kevin?
Giles? Which one? Oh, Adorius? The Blue? Master of the mystical...
Yeah, that thing, the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, let's hear the whole thing all over again.
I'm Jiles the Bland, apprentice and ward to Adarius the Blue, master of the mystical arts, wielder of powers known and unknown, co-founder of the Council of Five, the mightiest wizards in all land. Okay, look. So my family owned a small pot making company or shop in town forever. Goblins raided the town, or were going to raid the town. They all the menfolk took up to arms and battled the goblins, right? Well, unfortunately, my father passed away when I was very young. This happened when I was very, very young. He passed away, and leaving me and my mother to take care of the shop, which I have done for the past 20 years. When all of a sudden, my mom meets Adorius, the Blue, master of the mystical arts, wielder of powers known and unknown, co-founder of the Council of Five, the mightiest wizards of all the land. And they hit it off. Now, Adorius, enter the rest of it, is taking the mantle of this father figure, and he's teaching me said mystical arts. The only problem is the guy's only 4 years older than I am. So,
Wait, what?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like we could have it's a long story. But I mean, now that I'm his ward and his apprentice, every time I introduce myself, I have to introduce him as well.
How much taller than him are you?
Roughly about 1.5 inches taller. Not very much, but enough.
Okay.
Enough.
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 Quite.
I'm just restraining all the worst jokes I can think of right now. It's difficult, but I'm managing.
Well, I guess that leaves me. Let me just hold on. I haven't played this character type in a minute, so I'm just trying to get into it a little bit down
Is it turning
here.
into a werewolf?
No, that was the last game where I was the best boy.
The
See,
best boy.
Yeah, see, right now I'm trying to get closer to the right stature of where my character is going to be throughout this campaign, because this voice will annoy myself, but I'm going to stick to it, and that's just too fucking bad for even me.
I have to ask, are you modifying your voice? Are you huffing helium, or are you doing it through a soundboard?
No, I'm just slouched really bad right now. This is actually really bothering my back. So let's just undo that foolish mistake.
All right. Anyways, so yeah,
You really did. That was really
Abernathy. Yes.
What?
Yeah. Anyhow, Abernathy Westergren. I am a halfling, and it is time for second breakfast / dinner / I'm going to eat an egg because I am peckish, and I gotta tell you, say, not enough good spots for food around here because it's tiring being an adventurer. I just want y'all to know I'm just glad to be involved. You know, I would like to thank you for and your stepdad for having me here, and you for not eating me like a fly, and you for being almost to my eye level. It's really nice to be amongst someone close to my own height for once, and you're intimidating. That's all I'm gonna say. All right.
I'm crying laughing from that. Thank you.
That's
Thank
pretty
you.
good.
2 years of playing games, and you always seem to play like guttural, deep-voiced people, mustachioed individuals with an Atlantic accent, and yet helium huffer was not something I expected to come out of the Paschke chest of tricks.
I should not have eaten this chocolate
He's
egg.
like, what was that guy's name? Tex Avery. Like, you never know what to expect.
Oh, that was a lot in my mouth at once. John, do not clip that.
So, as we are thinking about our characters, perhaps it may behoove to talk a little bit about the city very briefly and some of the environs, as that may influence bits about your character. So if you're okay with a little bit of exposition, I will just give you a little bit of a lowdown, if I may. So the city that you are starting your adventure in, and perhaps you've been established from other areas, or maybe you've known each other for a while, but the city of Torgon that you are in was once the wizard fortress of a terrible vivimancer called Iax the Malign, ones that eviscerate bodies as kind of an augury, reassemble them to make horrible homunculi. Eventually, this mad wizard ascended to lichdom and assembled a pretty gruesome army of homunculi to rule all of the nearby territories, caused a lot of collateral damage, including burning and razing a great forest to the west-southwest that has since become the Silt Sea, just a basin of ashes that people nowadays will ride silt skips and other things to traverse the wastes. The Lich was overthrown eventually by a cabal of wizards known as the Council of Azure Stars. They claim to help balance power in the realms, but some people would debate if that's just a way for them to concentrate their own powers, for they took over the wizard tower, took all the riches that were in it, and then used it to rebuild this fortress and eventually turn it into this city. They've ruled it for over 200 years. They've helped see this city flourish, and they have taken all of the books that were not heretical and a danger to the populace and put them into a large library at the center of the city. There are 5 major districts to this metropolitan city, including Spire, which is the ruling tower that they rule from. Highgarden, or some people call it Highbrow, is your elite district of nobles, wizards, oligarchs. Reverends, the church ward, where there is a collection of churches to small and petty gods. Populace, which is the residence for all of the townsfolks. It is 3-tiered. Of course, the richer tier is higher, poorer tier is lower. And Arcadia, the market district, because it was once a series of arcades built into the original stables of the city fortress, and it is divided into, of course, the more rich, affluent markets and the more poor ones. Major trades are information, magical components, things that are used for alchemical research and so forth are the major industries. And this is a very literate city, as there are free education literacy lessons. Over 60% of the population is literate by choice. That being said, a couple things that are also of note is that the city government, the wizards, they have been aging over time. They had formed the Starry Synod, and after around 200 years, most of them died off. And recently, the surviving wizard instituted himself as the High Wizard and made a senate. So now there is a little bit of a representational democracy in a capacity, but all the senators still report to the High Wizard that takes the final call. So that's just a little bit of a spattering about the city itself, kind of get a little bit of a flavor there, and maybe something about that has drawn your character, or maybe you've grown up here and you have a very colorful cast of people. Maybe that's something else that has drawn them here.
I think Skaar came to this city after his exile from home, from his home human city, of course, and was drawn here because of those free literacy classes, because he came in kind of not able to speak anything, although the drow can understand him pretty well, and so he found a drow common instructor and learned the common language. So that is how he came to be here.
And that is a great contact that you could use for someone to research and, contact for future adventures.
We don't like to use. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that we don't like to use the word missionary, but I do like to spread the word of Basiliscus wherever I go. So this is just going to be another opportunity for that. I'm not really interested in any material goods. I just want what every lizard wants. I want to get old enough to be able to lay on a hot rock for the rest of my life.
Could that be
That ain't
something?
just lizards. That is Catrox as well, and also John. John would like that.
Would that be something that maybe you might want to aspire to, is getting enough wealth and riches so you can build your own chapel or shrine to Basilisk in the reverence?
That would be a wonderful way to spend any gains I happen to come across, but certainly not my primary motivator.
I have been, I wouldn't say studiously avoiding, but certainly not dropping into literacy classes. What I have been doing is looking unsuccessfully for work. I'm a member of a builders guild type of organization, and they had a chapter here they thought might have worked, but when I arrived in the city, like pretty much full up on the builders. So I've essentially just been doing like day labor and waiting for the next big score to come along, or a ride to another city, or whatever will get me out of this rut of bad luck I've been in.
As a follow-up to that, if I may,
Mhm.
what is your clan's name, and are you still in good standing with them?
Yeah, let's see. What is my clan's name? Let's say it's Clan Girthwood. I love that. And yeah, like I'm in good standing, but we're all expected to essentially travel and make something of ourselves before we're welcomed sort of back with open arms. They don't want people who are just lazy aristocrats. And I have yet to do anything that is worthy of going home and telling them about. So in a way, I have yet to become a dwarvish adult. Although I'm probably pretty effing old by human standards.
Thank you.
Again, same for John.
I would have to say that Jiles and his mom's shop has been a staple in the lower Arcadia district. Been there for years, not putting out like fine pottery or whatever, but putting out quality stuff to get people by at a reasonable price. And with this new edition of this father figure, he's Giles has been to the High Garden, following his apprenticeship, kind of seeing the other side of how the other side lives. So,
Giles, what is
Yes.
the most popular item that your pottery shop sells?
Oh goodness, just large cooking pots, just the ones that you could have the whole your whole little neighborhood around, and just stone soup it style.
Yeah.
We try to make it more accessible for families and and neighbors and such.
Does anyone here own some of that crockery?
I'd like to mid-pot at a reasonable price. I'm very into that.
Mhm.
I am begging on the streets currently. So I don't own, like,
Oof.
I own what is in my backpack and what's on my back.
I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way, so I feel that. Maybe that's how John and I meet, is essentially just like beating the pavement. And I'm quite interested in his mandibles, but I'm not xenophobic, so we strike up a conversation, and he's learning Common, which I also speak, and
Oh,
I don't
you
know.
could we could kind of form a symbiotic relationship where
Sure.
you're kind of you're kind of teaching me how to speak common, but I can read, so I can like. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
so we go like we go to the bar. You're paying because I'm a beggar, and it's like,
right.
okay, I want this. Like, okay, well that says this and this and this. So like we kind of created this like friendship based on
Yeah,
mutual incompetence.
yeah, exactly. I love this. This is great. We're a buddy comedy just waiting to happen. Hit us up, Marvel, because Madame Web was not great.
Oh, no.
I have already hit. I will say I've already hit up DC for my reverse Golem Clayface story.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Hey, DC, come at your boy. But also Marvel, we're spinning a better Spider-Verse story right now, right
Yeah.
here. So come at
Yeah.
us.
So we have two players that have this symbiotic relationship. I don't know how many Kartoks there are in the city. Would these be someone like I bet they would be memorable people? Have any of you have had encounters with them before, or it was perhaps the party forming over a shared mission or joint or opportunity for wealth, riches, fame, renown?
They're the only ones that let me talk to them in the tavern. So I've been
There's
just kind of
probably
glued to
like
them.
there's probably like 2 or 3 of us. If this is a massive hub for humanity, there's probably like 3 or 4 of us total, begging in the streets, always hiding our features. But since I'm sorry, what's your name, Bridget?
My name is
Yeah.
Bridget. Oh, you mean
Oh.
my character? I'm sorry. I was actually just stalling because I forgot. It's
I'm going to
Scrax.
see you at KillerCon, and I'm going to beat you up.
You missed your chance at Ghoulish. It's Scrax.
Scrax. Okay, so with that in mind, Scrax can sniff out Skarscan, so she knows he's not human, and probably approached him in the tavern of like, "Hey, I'm also not human," and kind of like hated on alliance friendship, and so the 3 of us have like become outcast friends.
I'm humanoid, but I'm not human either. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense, actually.
But also,
So-
I want to emphasize how
Basiliscus.
delicious Scar smells. Like it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm
It's a
having
good
my
thing I'm
own personal
here.
like Edward Cullen moment over here. I don't know what's
Wait.
going on.
It's a good thing I'm here to like smack an axe between you if things get too heated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I may, I'm hearing there have the strange people in a strange land bonding together.
Mhm.
As the class race thing is still kind of on the table for evolution, this is an interesting question. So for you, Jiles, since you are a magic user, feel like you may know all of these because you feel disenfranchised by poverty, or do you maybe or thinking about adding on a race that would also be disenfranchised that would group to them?
I have a suggestion if you're willing to hear, Kevin.
I am all ears.
I have a drow teacher teaching me common.
Okay.
You could be a dark elf.
I know what a drow is.
Was not attempting to mansplain fantasy to you.
These nerds
Explain.
playing drow to me. Possibly.
Unless you, obviously, if you have other plans or ideas, I was just throwing that out.
I'm thinking I might stick with human, but I want to say that seeing, gosh,
I've got an idea.
What names?
If,
What's up?
if you're also open, maybe your family's artisanal crocker. You said it's in Arcadia. I don't imagine we'd be like eating and drinking at a place in like the ritzy part of town. So I think that maybe your family shop supplies the like replacement cups and stuff for this tavern, and maybe you just like bumped into us when you're delivering them or something.
That sounds perfectly fine to me, actually.
As a magic user, you'd be interested in all these exotic critters.
Yeah, especially Scrax there, being as my character does speak lizard man as well. I could probably just, being as, the literacy in town is something that everyone's striving for. I'm trying to learn as many different languages. So I've got like remedial lizard man down. I'm trying to get Scrax's attention, be like, saying just like rudimentary things like hello or where's the bathroom, like Americans learning Spanish or something, or French,
Mhm.
just kind of trying to
Pick up a
build
little
that
bit of it.
rapport. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am unfailingly polite, but visibly annoyed in response.
that is fair. I get that a lot.
Leopold, if in your character sheet you do have cooking pots, so it is possible that maybe you either had an exchange, a gift, a trade, or you've recognized the stamp for
Yeah. That would
Giles'
explain
shop.
why I invited him over to our table. I saw him delivering those delightful earthen pots that I so appreciate. I make my special dwarf chili in it. You eat a big bowl of it, and you'll forget your kids' names.
I've had that chili.
Botulism has that effect.
Me, my wife, and my daughter. What's her name?
Yeah, that's true.
Now, and something to think about for people who are unfamiliar with like OSC and old D&D is that the alignment system is different. Instead of having the ninefold, your different scales of law versus chaos and good versus evil, there's only three. You have lawful, which is basically pro-social and rule of law. You have neutral, which is kind of self-serving, is kind of in between good and evil and law chaos. And then you have chaotic, which are usually very selfish, self-centered, backstabbing, more aligned with kind of evil in general. Your pre-gen, Charles, was
I'll have you know that's slander, sir. No, that's my chaos starving. No, yeah, I'm neutral, and I'm good with that. That seems to match my nature.
And Paschke's character seems very affable, but at the same time, or on your sheet there, Paschke, it was chaotic. Are you?
What are you talking about? It's what do you have to look? You ask what everyone else is doing, how they meet. Me, you're just like, oh hey, you're chaotic and that's bad, right? Okay, let's oust Paschke now. I don't have to white out anything. Excuse me.
I was wondering if that would be part of the story, or if you are not wanting to be chaotic. These were.
Hey girl, it's session 0. Don't worry about that. You got this.
I'm giving you opportunities here.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take them.
Hey girl. Hey girl.
Hey, girl.
Don't you worry. It's session 0, baby.
And alignment can be secret. After this, you could change your alignment.
Not anymore. It can't.
No, it can't. No, seriously. Page 18 says you don't have to tell the other players.
The GM will do it for you.
We get to the final session. I was good the whole time.
All of you can see each other's character sheet in the Google Drive.
I didn't put mine in the Google Drive. But
I put it in there for you.
You son of a bitch.
Well, because then it's there, because if you have a question, then I can find it.
Yeah, it's all. I'm just teasing. It's all very extremely funny.
And also informative. I hadn't thought about looking at other people's character sheets before a game, but now I'm going to do it every time.
Now I'm going to get in there and change people's character sheets.
What
happened to all of our gold? I don't know. I'll cover your tab this game.
Something that we could also do that I have seen on like Instagram are GMs that have everyone write 4 rumors about your character, or in this case 5. Yeah, 4. You can decide if it's true or not, and then give them to me. Then I can pass out. Everyone gets one rumor about the others, and that can also lead to development.
So what, we're playing like 2 lies and a truth? with
Certainly.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I think
A little
that
more
could be
complicated.
I actually really like that personally, but I don't want to give a bunch of extra work to anyone who's not into it.
It could just be little short things like the dwarf chili won first place at a tavern, or it could be that the Jiles pots explode at high temperatures. Like they don't have to be true, but it could be just give you opportunity, something to discuss while you're camping at a tavern. If that's something that we want to handle offline, but interesting things that I've seen other GMs do, and it is something we can do in between.
That sounds fun,
this next
actually.
Yeah, that sounds cool
fun
as hell to me.
Agreed.
I will
Yeah.
say, there's a totally true rumor that Skarscan is completely human and very good at being human.
Mhm.
That's not a rumor. That's fact.
That's
Mhm.
just a fact.
I'll
Yeah.
back his story.
So we're getting a good feel for how a lot of you are coming together. I'm curious to see how Paschke, your Abernathy, how Abernathy might relate or come into the fold.
Well, I think you'd all be there talking about pottery and things, and then Scrax just feels. I assume, being a lizard person, you have a tail, right?
Yes.
That's really none of your business.
Well, that's because it's currently getting lifted up. It's like, wow. So does it just go all the way up? Is there like what's going on here?
Are you trying to
Whoa.
look at her cloaca?
There are certain
What's a cloaca? I don't.
I
Is this a cloaca?
Oh no!
I keep remembering that he's a halfling, and I've never seen somebody roleplay just like a shitty halfling, and I love it.
What are you talking?
about?
I'm fine. I don't know what's so shitty. I'm just look where I'm from. Everyone's my height, and why have a scaly meat tube attached to your butt?
If I could also add one other interesting opportunity for spontaneous character development.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I
not
don't see a
sleeping
reason
with the
not
halfling.
to. We've already lost the plot.
There was a plot.
Oh, it's still up here.
Okay.
One of my favorite things to pull out while playing like a BX or an OSE game is the 100 fantastic headgear, like pieces of headgear. Would any of you like a free hat? They're all very odd and interesting.
Absolutely.
It's very important that I
Okay.
have one.
Yes,
All right.
I believe that was a
require
show
one.
of hands. Mr. Bernard did not raise his hand.
Oh,
and,
I do. Yeah, I said I
okay.
would. Yeah.
I will need all of you to roll me a D8. And if you'd like me to roll one for you, Charles, you just let me know.
Please do if you got one handy.
I do. So for you, that is a 6. Hold on. Let me write this down.
So
Okay.
while he's writing that down, I just want to say that there are several species of spiders who part of their courtship is
Pretending to be human.
wearing a hat.
Oh,
They put like water droplets and flowers on their head and then dance.
I've seen that. Yeah,
And
it's adorable.
I think I've decided that Skarskin has a crush on Scrax.
Scrax
has-
getting all
he
the
has-
attention.
He has terribly misread the desire to eat his as an attraction. And so it was like, so he never had a hat
Tale as
before,
old as
but like,
time.
I'm being Scrax. Here's my hat.
So, Scrax, what? I love it. What did all of you roll?
I rolled a 3.
Okay, so that is a 3. Okay, that's a 1. Oh. Okay. 3. And Jiles, what'd you get?
I got a 7.
7. And Abernathy.
Abernathy, I'm going to assume, is matching Giles.
Oh,
I also rolled a 7.
Okay.
twinsies.
Yeah, dinosaurs all over again, buddy.
So I like the fact that we may need to re-roll Kartox, but we will see how this plays out. All right. This is going to be interesting. Magic user hat. And I'm guess halfling hat. Yeah, hat and hat. Great. So I will need, let's see, if I can have, I'll actually roll for Charles. All right, if I can have Kartok, I'd like you to roll me a d20. Let's see. That is it's going to be, if I can have everyone roll me a d20.
I rolled an 11, sir.
Okay.
18.
19.
One.
I rolled a 4.
And Charles, what was that?
I got a 1.
A 1. Okay. All right. So Leopold, and none of these affect anything other than just flavor, because this might be a very interesting, like, why do you have this hat? It's a great way to kind of explain, like, I got this from my travels or from my great grandmother. So Charles, you have rolled a helmet, and with that, it is a masked helm with, this is going to be interesting. Do you have a D10 handy, or I can roll for you?
Please do.
The mask of your helm, like the grill, is covered. It is grilled like a gladiator.
Nice.
For you, Skaar, the initial roll was no headgear at all. Instead, you have rolled grungy in eyes, which makes sense. So if you would like to re-roll me a D8 and D20, we can get you an actual piece of headgear, because we already know you have grungy eyes because you have an excess of them. Scrax, so you have rolled that was a 19, I believe. You have, likewise, you whirled a bare head, and it is short. It's supposed to be short hair and stylish, which doesn't make much sense for a lizard person, unless you have some type of like growth plates or something else that can be braided like chitin strands, or else you can re-roll your headgear as well.
I'm going to re-roll my headgear.
Okay, great. Off to a great start with the table here. Thanks for bearing with. Although, Jiles, you've rolled a hat, and for you, your hat is it's adorned with, roll me a D10.
Adorned with a D10. Great.
Oh, no, roll me a D10.
3.
That was a very good joke, though.
With a crest or a rune. So that may be something that represents your magic user, a symbol on top of your hat. And for you, Abernathy, you have also rolled a hat, and your hat is a wide-brimmed, stiff hat. It's imagining like
a Puritan's hat?
Yeah, it could be.
That's one way of interpreting stiff.
Ooh.
How wide is the brim that we're talking about here? Like,
how wide do you want it to be?
How many gallons is this?
Since you are a halfling, was this
hat?
even a hat made for halflings? Was it a normal human hat that on you is just massive? Like, that is a great point.
You've heard of 55-gallon drums? It's a 55-gallon hat, Bridget.
Fuck you.
So I have two things my brain wants to go with here. A, wide brim, like rated from Mortal Kombat. I mean, come on, that's all brim, baby. My other thing is Southern Belle, really big, with like floofiness.
No, I love it because there's specifically one that is like the floofy soft.
But this is stiff.
Yep.
Oh, man, I can't decide.
It could be a Pope hat.
But Pope hats don't really have brims, though. It's just more of an up situation.
I'm kind of imagining it as like one of those like monastic priest hats where it's a small cap, but just like flat brim all the way across, and it just
Like
perpetually gives you a
no, it's Jodorowsky's
position.
Yeah, Jordawaski hat. What?
Yeah, like from the Holy Mountain, where like he's inside the temple, where like the almost guy climbs up there. He's just sitting there with that stupid big hat with the really pointy.
His gaucho hat. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
God, I love that movie. I own
Such a
that
good
movie.
movie.
As a matter of fact.
I
Yeah.
also own that movie.
I have to finish watching Sante Sangre or whatever it is.
Oh, that's so good.
I know. I'm halfway through it, and I put it down for some reason. I need to finish it. So.
We could have a 2-hour-long Jordawaski talk after,
Yeah.
or some other time. But yeah.
Okay, so Skaar, what did you re-roll?
And
So
9.
did you want me to re-roll the
Oh,
D8 or just the D20?
The D8 is the thing that is more important.
Okay. 3.
All right, so that is a hood, and so from your previous roll, your hood is it's hooded with D4 tassels dangling from it.
Oh, I like that.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. The tassels are 4 of them.
I can imagine
tassels-
you could have them down in front to hide your eyes.
Yeah, the tassels kind of dangle in front of the hood, the face part of the hood. And
Why isn't that a look? That'd be a cool look.
It's a cool look, but also they are woven from silk. Just silk, normal kinds of silk that humans wear, and did not come from my body.
Not butt silk at all.
Not butt silk.
So Scrax, what was your D8 reroll?
4.
4. All right. So that is a hat.
Yeah.
And you had a 19 before. That sounded like a pretty mighty roll. So wait, you didn't. Oh, 8. Actually, re-roll that for me because I have, if you don't mind, because I have skipped one line here, and I think that you might have a really good result coming up. So roll me that D20.
5.
5. So your hat is a short conical hat. So I'm wondering if that might be a fez, or how would you interpret that?
I would like it to be a fez.
I
Can it be a
imagine
religious fez?
Yes,
Like it has a little figure
It
of
has
lizard
the
Jesus on it.
little Jesus running across the. Yeah.
I love it.
Does it have a tassel or a ball on top?
It has a tassel.
Okay.
Is it made of spider silk?
Yeah, did I make that tassel for you?
No.
More religions should have just like a silhouette of the figure they worship as their logo. I think that's a good religion right there. It tells you
number of
exactly what
religions
it's
that have
about.
a physical portrayal of God is. I feel like there's not enough to make it good.
No. I mean my as their symbol, like as their.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Because there are plenty of statues involved in many religions, but
that's true.
the symbol is usually something very what's the word I'm looking for? Abstract, right? And I'd love it if it was just like a very detailed drawing or like a portrait of the.
So I have one thing I want to add to my fez, which is that the lizard people, we don't really have a written language. It's not really a language that lends itself to writing, but we do have symbols we use for our names. And since we weren't really great at coming up with these, we just kind of use them from other things we found in our environment. So on the back of my hat is the patch that signifies my name, and it just says women want me, fish fear me.
I love it.
Yes,
I love it. Teach a man to fish, he day. No. So Jiles, since you've had a little time here, thinking about the rune or the crest that is on your hat, what does that look like? And what colors maybe is your schema?
Well, being as I wasn't thinking about it as much as just listening to everyone else's cool ideas. As far as the coloring of the hat, it's blue for being as the hat is part of the apprenticeship. Being as I'm apprenticing under Adorius the Blue, master of the mystical arts, wielder of the powers known and unknown, co-founder of the Council of Five, the mightiest wizards of all land. Being as I'm apprenticing under him, the hat is blue, and it's adorned with just it's more like a socket where that the gems can like be interchanged as soon as I get out of apprenticeship and into whatever. Yes, John.
I think it should say "get it."
Oh, if you listen to the episode.
So right now it's the gem. It's just a simple polished stone, just to show my ranking in the apprenticeship, and then as I work my way up, it's taken out and put in with like more adorned gems and such.
I think that's fantastic. I did miss one thing, and that is for you, Skaar. Roll me a let's see, a D6.
5, sir.
All right. 5. So there is a table for color of your hat. So it is pea green.
The best hat color there is.
Well,
I'm wearing a hood.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
a pea green hood.
That's actually a good color for a hood.
I assume the hood is part of my robe.
Also a strong robe color.
Wait, did you say what? Did you say? Wait, what did you say you rolled?
I rolled a 5.
Oh, 5. I'm so sorry. Then it should be daisy yellow.
Yes.
That's fine. I'm wearing a daisy yellow robe with a hood and with little tassels. And by the way, the tassels that hang over my hood have little bells on them.
Oh.
So I jingle a little.
And if you want to change any of these things between now and then, that's perfectly fine. The table is in the drive. It is a lot of fun. I always like it because there are a lot of things. There is even, you can roll a squid-shaped hat under subtable F.
Hell yeah.
Get it.
I still have my squid-shaped hat.
I do too. I put it on the other day.
I should get get some for those of us who've joined our cast since that episode.
Yeah.
Properly part of the crew.
Everyone should have a squid shaped hat.
But they have to listen to that episode.
They do need to listen to the episode first.
For people who are
it was
familiar,
a very good episode.
It was a great one. We had a little bit of recording issues, some of the sound during part of it, but it was our CU Space Cowboy episode. So it definitely has a special place in our hearts. It was definitely when we really kind of gelled a lot of our improv in the best way.
Just a quick interlude to give you some announcements. First, if you are in Central Texas, Madness Art Games will be at the Staple Media Expo for comic books, games, art, and all kinds of good indie stuff. From the 13th through the 14th in Austin, Texas, we have a few new games available on our itch, namely Rise of the Terror Toma, a Mark Borg dungeon crawl. We have Red Room by Alexi Vela, a solo journaling game about running a snuff film business, and They Think They're Saving Us by Nate Southard, a solo journaling game about stopping the end of the world from a power-mad cult. Tonight is the last chance you have to back Wayne's Battle Wizard Indiegogo. We played several of Wayne's games here on the show, including Dungeon Plumbers and Pan His Majesty in Yellow. Wayne is a fantastic game designer and a great writer, so definitely check that out. There's also Mystic Punks on Kickstarter right now. That's from Exalted Funeral. It is a game about trying to save the world from eldritch gods, possessed high school lunch ladies, and otherworldly bandits. You play things like magic gas station attendants, Molgoths, and maybe even a Pomeranian wizard. So check that out as well on Kickstarter. That's again Mystic Punks, tabletop role-playing game. Finally, Kevin Welch's show, Flail to the Face, which is a Mark Borg actual playcast that is voice acted with sound effects. It's incredible if you haven't listened to it. Episode 21 drops on Friday, so you're not so late to the party that you can't get into it. They have special guests pretty often. John Baltisberger has been a guest, as well as Moore, the artist John Moore. So definitely check out Flail to the Face. As always, I want to thank Bog Wizard for the use of our intro and outro music. This track is from their split with Dustward. Check out that album, it is also fantastic. Now, let's get back to the mayhem.
So, the other question is, you have some kind of great relational things that we're building here. Now, have a lot of you done adventures before? If so, was it successful? Was it a failure? And what was it that you've still kind of stuck together after that? Or maybe you're scheming for an adventure. Putting it out there for the group.
I've been on adventures with other crews before, because I'm not bullshitting when I say that I'm a semi-experienced dungeon dwarf. Not like super experienced, but I'm alive, so I would call my missions very successful so far. Yeah. But I am hungry for a mission with this new crew.
I'm just excited they let me hang out. I mean, Skaar keeps inviting me, so clearly we're friends. Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
I'm just this little guy. I've never been on an adventure before.
I haven't been on an adventure either, but as part of my apprenticeship, I have to get out there and do something and spread the word of the Council of Five. Which I think is just him and his buddies going out to random taverns saying that they're magic users. I don't know.
Are there actually 5 of them, or is it just a name?
I get such a Kiff and Zap Brannigan vibe with you and your mentor.
You wouldn't know because he hasn't been invited yet.
I haven't been there yet. All I know is just Adorius, the Blue, master of the mystical arts, wielder of the powers of known and unknown, co-founder of the Council of Five, the mightiest wizards in all the land.
Oh, it'd be apprentice, fetch the champagne. Bring it to my sextorium.
It'd be really sad that like you're doing all of these exercises and it's just like cleaning his house and you're thinking you're developing wizardly powers. You're like going on beer runs and you're like, you're the 2nd level wizard now. And it's like just jerking you around. But like secretly you're just actually developing magical powers. And like
just like the Karate
you're like
Kid.
The chosen one and just no one knows. Anyways.
Yep.
So the other question is, and then I think that we can even get into a little bit of the initial setting and see how these characters are playing out and set us up for our first adventure if we're open to it. Different parties may offer different expertise and specialties. Being that you are in this city that does emphasize a lot of scholastic endeavors, a lot of research, a lot of archiving, a lot of exploration, you may set yourselves apart from other hireable crews by being people who, of course, fetch things, deliver things, explore. Maybe you are seekers of information, or you are maybe you're just bloodthirsty mercenaries, but maybe what's a specialty that makes you special and why you should get a gig compared to the other adventuring parties.
Item recovery.
And we're cheap. We'll undercut anybody.
Yep.
We'll take any job for 5 cents.
Yeah, you want that forbidden artifact that's killed everybody who's tried to get it for the cheapest possible price. Call us up.
So your monetary system completely baffles me, so I'll do it for anything.
I think it baffles a lot of us, actually.
Yeah.
In real life.
Money is not a thing I have had to contend with before. So, but if we look at it, I am billing myself as a sneak thief. We have the strong dwarf. I speak common with a heavy drow accent. because I learned from a drow. Ergo, most people probably assume, since they can't see my face, that I am a drow.
Mhm.
And if you want someone to explore catacombs, not anyone better you're going to find than one of the dark elves. So we might blunder ourselves into a job by mistaken identity. I think the halfling just kind of joined us out of fascination with the non-humans.
I never asked for permission to be here. I just saw you and started hanging around.
Kept
That's
showing
how
up.
friends work. That's how
Dude,
friendship is.
I've had friends who like became friends that way. I got to
100%.
like them after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only one I don't know is how the apprentice has joined into our terrible group.
I thought there was a connection between the pottery ware and overhearing things of that nature, and he also needs to be a part of the quest, if I have been interpreting that correctly.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
so I pretty much just inserted myself into this whole thing, you know.
And we
That's the way to do
probably
it,
have no
baby.
idea, like, whether you're an entry level magic student or like a mighty wizard. We're just like, ooh, magic user, cool.
Council
That'll be
of
helpful.
5. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds important.
Ian, here's another build-up question, but we can kind of transition into some play. Would be, do people know your spell, and if so, have they seen it in use?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you've got to have like 30 spells, right? I mean, I saw your hat. It's got a polished stone on there. That's impressive. That's great.
Yeah.
So like you can probably like levitation. You can probably like generate water. You can probably do dispel water. You can probably erase people's minds. You could probably do solar flare and blind people. Right, that's Dragon Ball. Never mind.
Giles,
Yeah,
the first time you go to sleep, your stone's going to be missing.
More than likely. Well, I'm going to look at Abernathy and say, yeah, those are all great spells.
Amazing response.
Abernathy is climbing the ranks of my favorite character of
Same.
the characters that Paschke's done.
Oh, you
I
just
don't know.
wait until we need to get like mounts because I've already named my horse.
Oh, I can't wait.
I like how all these characters are coming together, so I also
Skaar and
appreciate.
Scrack are going to eat the horse. I just need everyone to understand that we
You
do
can-
not understand Beast of Burden.
But
If you can
I
afford a
have
horse.
so many plans for my horse.
I'm just saying, make sure we understand it's not an eating horse. That's
It's
all
not
I'm
a
saying.
heating horse, but I mean, I'm small and like the horse has got to be like, first of all, the horse's name is Clyde. Let's start with that.
Oh, no.
And being a halfling, the only suitable size horse that a halfling should have is a Clydesdale. Second of all, Clydesdales are the perfect vessel for hauling booze. So the Clydesdale should have a wet bar on its back. And if you guys don't let me have a Clydesdale, you don't get drinks along the road.
I can't drink alcohol, unfortunately, but
You
I
know what?
respect everyone else's
I'm gonna
ability.
make sure that we get you a Clydesdale because it's gonna look like a Chihuahua riding a Great Dane, and that's gonna be consistently a joy to me.
Clydesdales are large.
they're
Yeah.
the biggest.
Yeah.
Halflings are
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. You look like a Chihuahua on top of a Great Dane.
Gotcha.
But they'll be like
Gotcha.
patio furniture that are halfling size that I can lounge on.
One other question for the lot of you, since it seems like you're all very eager to be adventuring and making some coin to pay off your debts, have some possessions, belongings. Do you have a moniker for your group? Do you call yourselves anything, or is it just your own individual names?
I think
Like,
that
you have
would
a brand identity.
develop.
I'm sorry,
need
John
a-
Giles.
We
I
need a name
secretly
for
call
our
us the
group.
Best Friends Forever Society, but I don't think they want me to mention that.
I
love
understood
that.
part of that.
If
I
you
got
did, I would embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Abernathy is trying really hard to push silver and below because that's the price. We start off at silver, and every other service we do is cheaper by increments below it. So that way, people know that like you're starting off here and it's just going down lower. But what we don't tell them is we nickel and dime them for everything. So like there's hauling fees, there's rope like winding fees. We'll get them with all that, and they think they're only in for like 5 pence.
Someone has clearly worked for the Torchbearers Guild before. I like, Giles, how you were leaning into the fact that you know lizard man language. I think that's a cute little feather in your runic cap.
I'm learning it.
He messes up words sometimes. It's a little awkward, but
Yeah.
it's getting there.
So we're the best friend team.
The Best Friends Forever Society.
Yeah. BFFS.
I also think we all have our own name for it in our own like cultural parlance that no one else in the group can understand. I'm like, oh yeah, we're the broody bunch.
I just
Like,
call
can't wait till
us
we go to
Hammer
bid
Time.
for a job and we're competing against ourselves.
I mean, privately, I do think of you all as the no meat and the one maybe.
Oh. You're saying I have a chance? Skaar scan.
He's gonna get eaten.
I feel like he's every young teenage golden retriever boy trying to date his first black cat goth girl.
Have you seen that TikTok of the POV? He's about to ruin your friendship, where the guy's taking you out on a walk. It's
No, that sounds awful.
I'll send it.
Would you
I have. I know exactly what you're talking about, Bridget. Yes.
Are there any other character development notes that you would like to hash out, or would you like to go into an initial little bit of play to see how this dynamic works out so we can solidify characters?
Yeah, let's solidify
see how
these
this
characters
goes.
and
Do it.
Let's make it
get
solid.
it to the point where we can jump into adventure next time.
Absolutely. So most great stories, as far as dungeoneering exploits go, begin in, well, a tavern, an inn. That is where all these stories begin. And it so happens that your story takes place at the Moldy Fox. It is has a weather-worn sign of a moldy book with a fox on the cover. Shout out to my librarians who fight foxing and other book molds. It's so named because on the bar itself is a book of children's story that the barkeep learned to read on, Hengrid LARPs. So it's a fixture. It's almost, quasi-glued to the counter over spilled beers over all the time, but it's never been moved really from its spot. People that make oaths or announcements place their hands and proclaim, buy the book as a sign of veracity. Oath breakers are, of course, very much, and liars, very much looked down upon. And the only way to get back in good standing after breaking a truth set on the book is to buy a round of beverages for everyone in the tavern. Of course, the greater the infraction, the greater the drink you must order for everyone. So it's kind of an incentive for people, and what draws people in. It's a lot of the rustic charm, it's the good beverages, but sometimes there's always the chance of getting free drinks. Being that it is it's along the wall between the three tiers, the lower tier and the middle class tier within the residential quarter, it does have some traffic from people that are more affluent. So you get people that are workers, adventurers, and laborers, but some of the more highbrow as well. So it is natural that you would come to a place like this that caters to some of the more unusual people that go in and out of Torgun. Maybe some of you have been in here for a while. Maybe you have stories from this tavern from before you met each other. But you find yourself by the hearth at a long table at midday, having yourself whatever it is that your species eats for lunch. Next to you, there is a round table with 5 goblins that are very loudly gambling, and it's a confusing mix of what looks to be polished knucklebone dice, but also cards. Behind you, there are 2 dwarves that are having an arm wrestling contest that are shouting loudly, constantly tipping the table back and forth and spilling their drinks, but unperturbed ordering more rounds of drinks and just spilling more beer on the floor.
I nod approvingly at that. That's time well spent.
You can hear their teeth gritting, and some of them maybe even cracking from the strain. There is a strange red-skinned man in the corner with yellow eyes, wearing a strange top hat and sighing into a stange of what looks to be Pilsner. And from the front door, you see that a old woman, very much hunched over, wearing a thread worn cloak, is kind of just meandering over to various groups, seemingly asking them things. Maybe she's a beggar, but she seems to be intent on talking or finding someone to help her with her problem. But we will take it from there in media res. What your characters are doing, eating, drinking, or observing in the Moldy Fox.
I go up to the bartender. I order another meal for myself because halfling, hungry. I order myself another full pint because they serve those here, and that's exciting.
Comes in pints?
Yeah. I order a round of drinks for the bar and just walk back to my people carrying my ale and my plate.
So as you're ordering that, Hengrid leans over you. He was once a very towering, broad-shouldered man, maybe an adventurer in his former life, very much cowed by age, and all of his red mane is very much tinged with gray, and looks like he's doing a poor job of dyeing it with red wallflower to cover up the gray. Leans over and gives you the sternest dad look that he can do and says, "And you're paying with what coin?"
So on my character sheet, I was perusing it and I did not see where the gold was. So I figured I would just go nuts and see what Ian did. And now Ian is calling me out on it.
Second page towards the bottom.
Second page towards the bottom. I have 25 gold pieces.
Okay.
That should be enough.
It's just, pardon, sometimes we've had people order a whole lot of things and then scamper away without paying, but
What do you take me for?
Scamper? That sounds racist, man.
Yeah. Is it because I'm short you think I scamper? I could hobble. I could hobble with the best of them. Some
I'm
say I
back
can
in
eat
the fray.
triple.
I'm behind him, like, chest out, like nodding.
Skarscan walks up and in just like really a beautiful, again, super like aristocrat drow voice. "I'm sure he didn't mean anything by it, my friend. They're simply trying to protect his business." He nods his head. Maybe he's smiling in there. We'll never know.
We can see teeth
Does
through
smile
your
even
hood.
look like? Yeah.
And the hood is pulled forward far enough that it like casts everything underneath in shadow. He puts a gloved hand on the halfling's shoulder. "Don't make a mess of it. He's simply trying to protect his business, as I said. Thank you, sir."
Give him the business.
That's,
No, we are here to find business, not give it away. He glances at the dwarf like, was that right? Was that parlance correct?
Yeah, and
and then-
I nod. I'm like, yep, well done, well played.
And to that friend, we are looking for business, for work. Have you heard anything? He gestures around the room. I hesitate to just go ask. I don't want to intrude on others.
Well, first, matter of business, and he taps a bar surface with 3 fingers, looking over at you, Abernathy, for all of the drinks and food you're ordering. That is 3 ducats.
Ducats. What's the conversion ratio of gold pieces to ducats? I have gold from my homeland. I have gold from the local area. I seem to be without ducats.
I slide over 1 gold piece and I just.
At this point, there have been different currencies that have flowed through Torgon, and the central bank does shave and standardize the other foreign coins. So you can have ducats, guilders, all kinds of different shapes. So the parlance in general is able to say a gold coin. So that's 3 gold coins.
All right, go into my character sheet, hit and delete twice, then tapping the 2 again. Shouldn't have done that. Making the another 2 show up. All right, I slide over the. Actually, you know what? We're a nice little halfling. I slide over 4 gold pieces. Keep this one for yourself, there, big guy.
Well, thanks. He pulls out and gives you a free basket of crackers. They are freshly baked this morning. Thank you. To answer your question there, and he pauses, trying to figure out exactly what you are, and shrugs it off and says, well, if you don't want to intrude, there's always the news board outside. It's the one connected with all of the magic jars, so it has all of the updates, major updates and bulletins around the city, and people post little ads for this and that. But if you haven't been around here, and kind of looks around the tavern, usually people here are for a reason, either to offer themselves their services or to seek them, but we're all a friendly lot here, one we pay, and so thank you for the tip. And so you could basically ask people if someone doesn't want to talk, then well, I keep the peace, but still, it's good around here.
With that, I want him to stretch his suspenders. He's wearing a robe.
I'm just a simple country spider, and
I'm just a simple human worm man. Thank you for the advice. I find it most embalming. And with that,
I'm like, I kind of hustle him away. I'm like, yes, thank you. Most embalming.
I am very quintessential about the man with the yellow eyes and red skin over there. He points as though it's not extremely rude.
Are you still talking to each other, or are you asking
I'm talking to my dwarven friend in Abernathy.
Yeah. And I'm gently correcting all of his mistakes. I'm like, you're curious about him. Yeah, we can go over and talk to the cool devil man if you guys want to. That's what I would do.
Oh, is that the devil? I've heard about.
No. I'm not entirely sure what or who he is, but the devil is not real and or in hell, depending on which setting we're playing.
What a fantastic answer. Maybe.
Yeah. No. Well, maybe.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to our table where our entire party is gathered, and I'm going to make notes of everyone's name for next session, so I don't have to keep going. What's your name again?
Just right, get a little notepad.
I shoulda.
John, come on, man.
It's not just doodles.
So, friends, we're all agreed. We're going to try to find some work, something to make some money. Yes. Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. So, I knew you were in Abernathy. I wanted to check on our fair, scaly friend and what's his face, the magic one.
Giles.
Oh, is he a part of the group now too? Am I a part of the group now too?
Yes, we've been here the
Yes,
whole
Abernathy.
time.
Yes, of course. You all right? Wait,
Abernathy, didn't you say you bought a round for everyone in your party?
Look,
You did.
I may have said I bought a round. I don't think I specifically said the party,
Oh,
but let's move
I
on.
think you got around for the bar.
Oh,
So
Wait,
with that in mind, I think the gentleman in the corner there looks like he's looking for some help of some sort. I am going to go over and chat. All of you know that Skaar sees himself as being extremely good with people, but his complete lack of understanding of culture and social cues means he's really not.
Yeah, I'm gonna gently like grab his arm and be like, "Sit down and have a bite and a drink, buddy." And who's our member with the highest charisma?
that's a good question.
That's a good question. Why don't you ask around the tavern and find out how that works?
My charisma is a 13.
Oh,
That's
that's
much
funny
better
because
than mine.
mine's a 14.
Nice.
Mine's a
All right.
12.
We found
Mine
our
is a
diplomat.
6.
I think we send him.
Go get
I
him.
think we send him.
Go get him, Tiger.
I think that I think we found our ambassador. I think that I'll learn names later too. I think Bridget should head over there and see what's up.
What
See
do you
if we
guys
have
think my
any-
opening should be? Do you think he wants to hear about Basiliscus?
I think so.
I think I
like-
absolutely think so.
I'm as a diplomatic and somewhat like not totally worldly, but I've been out in the world a bit. I'm like, we'll soft sell him on Basiliscus. Open with the job, and we'll come in with the saving grace of Basiliscus to close the deal later.
Sure, maybe after we do such a good job, then he'll want to work with us more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The better the job, the happier Basiliscus will be, and the more that guy, the more likely he'll be to want to hear more.
I'm all in.
All right, we're sending our missionary to do a missionary's job.
To do God's work.
Yes, I think that's actually a good use of skill set there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to approach our friend, and I'm going to introduce myself. Hello, I am. I won't do the full introduction. I'll leave out all the parts about getting exiled from my old swamp. Just a name. He can just have my name, and I'm going to say we are a humble group of travelers who's looking for work in the area, and we do have a motto, which is no price is too low. So we're
Yeah.
If there's anything you might need assistance with, I think that we could offer both a competent and affordable option.
The man.
I love that this group is made up of a bunch of people who have no idea how money works. And so it's like, why do we can set a low price? Like, what does it matter? We'll get money.
What else were we going to do today, right? Like,
Right?
Yeah.
I thought we
It's
already
beautiful.
covered this. We nickel and dime them with surcharges.
Don't know what surcharges
Abernathy's
are.
got this one.
Yep.
we bill in 7-minute increments.
Oh, Abernathy is definitely our treasurer.
Yeah.
Your interest is already accruing. I just need you to know before we start this conversation. Begin.
The man sighs, and he doesn't even look up at you at first. His sigh blows off some of the foam off the top of his beer. As you are giving your really nice speech here, roll me 2d6, will you, Scrax?
Mhm.
And add your charisma modifier to that.
Ooh.
Ooh, for you, I guess I should pull out that modifier.
A 3 and a
So that
6.
is a +1. Okay, so that is 10. All right. Okay. So the man looks up at you, and you see his eyes are a deep yellow, like a little bit more deep in kind of an ochre color than your spider friend's cloak. And the eyes themselves seem to be almost like swirling color, almost like flickering flames. You do see from his top hat, there's just 2 little worn marks as if he's covering up something with his hat. Looks at you, and Basiliscus, huh?
Oh, yes. Are you familiar with our Lord and Savior?
He coughs a little bit, hiding a little bit of a smile. You get it with brimstone. He goes, I'm familiar with
His body of
many.
work, yes.
He doesn't finish what he's going to say. He goes, look, so you are for hire and a missionary?
Yes. Very much so. I assume. I don't know. I've never met any other missionaries, but I think I'm pretty up there.
Peculiar. And you say that you help with any problem and price is not too low?
Oh, yes. We don't ask questions and no price is too low.
He looks at you and he looks at his beer and he takes his finger and he rubs the rim of his beer, kind of wiping some of the spilt foam off, and you can hear it sizzling on his fingertip. He goes, well, I suppose you could help me with something. He outstretches his fingers and interlaces them. I'm Rolgoman, a solicitor, if you will, and I am stuck here for a long time on a contract. And I miss my younger brother Ignis. His spawning day is coming up soon, and I won't be there to give him his present. And I could use someone to deliver this present to him.
Yes, take the job, yes.
Yeah.
If you're
Whatever it is.
interested.
We don't
Don't
care.
act too eager, though.
That's kind of my whole thing.
That was me, Charles, projecting my thoughts directly into the game, into Bridget's
Yes.
character.
I picked up
Sklarks
on
or whatever your name is. Sorry.
Skill Rex.
Skrillex? Okay. All right. I got it.
So he pulls from inside of his cloak jacket, pulls out a piece of paper, and he unfurls it, and he begins to furiously scribble with a ink pen. Somewhere he jabs it in a different pocket and replenishes the ink and then keeps writing. And he drafts out a contract right in front of you. He waves his hand over it and it dries the ink. And he goes, if you would like to review this contract for your services, then we can make a deal.
A small little hand comes up from underneath the table and grabs pulls it down, and you see the snap of the paper. Let me have a look here.
I pass it on. I'm not a great reader.
Yeah, I was gonna say Skarscan slides into the table, and no one sees the look of just abject interest and curiosity on his terrible bug face, but it's there. You can feel the aura of jittery excitement. So I heard that you're the devil?
Rogelman looks. Sir, did you mean me?
Someone said, I was like, we should talk to that gentleman over here. There, he looks like he might be looking to hire someone. And someone else said, sure, we can talk to the devil. Ergo, I have to assume you're the devil. And that is quite tits? No.
Scar, you can't just ask if people are the
It's
devil.
quite scantily.
Yeah.
I'm gently stomping on his foot this whole time. Just shut the fuck up.
Well, Rogelman at this kind of unhinges his jaw just a bit. Like his face was a pretty almost normal-looking human face if it weren't for being red, and his jaw extends far too large, leans back, and laughs this horrible cackling laugh, and you think you hear like maybe wailing of the damned in the background. You're not sure, a little bit of like gouts of flame, and it
we
goes,
got away with it.
no, that's not
Skarsgård joins his
me,
laugh.
devil.
He's like, yeah, I don't know what's funny, but we're laughing.
I am a devil, hence the solicitor.
Ah,
So this
that
is
interesting. Fun, right? Is that
Yes.
fun? That's probably fun.
Oh,
And then
it can be very fun. It's
to,
all in the
to that
details.
I finally have to step in, and I'm like, excuse me, sir, my very human friend here is from a very distant land and does not know much of our local area or realm. So
Rogelman will smile at you and go, "That's okay." And then Rogelman, in perfect spider tongue, will just say,
oh shit.
"Isn't it? We're just having a lovely conversation."
Wow.
Oh,
I would like to know, while you're digesting that, this entire time, Jiles, you're kind of taking in this scene of your comrades, new friends, being a little bit, well, animated, to say it, and approaching this stranger and also getting plenty of drinks and food. What is it that you're doing as this is kind of unfolding?
So as I'm watching this go, this whole thing go down, I'm also have my spell book in front of me, and I'm flipping back and forth throughout the pages, but mainly going to the one page that has the one spell that I know. But I want to make it look like I know more. So I'm flipping through. It's like, okay, yeah, no, that's good. Magic missile. Okay, and then this is fantastic. This is great. Magic. Okay, still got it there. I'm doing that while still keeping an eye on what my my new friends are doing as well. But I'm also thinking to myself, I am so screwed. I need more spells. Apprenticeship. This is stupid. What the hell was I thinking? Magic missile. Got it. Okay.
Are you what spell did you prepare for the day?
Web.
Didn't even fall into my cleverly laid trap. So while you're
we're gonna have a
studying,
web off.
while you're studying, are you using that as a cover to pay attention to the other patrons? Are you genuinely studying, trying to
No.
look important? Or
I'm trying to make it look like I'm because Abernathy was like, oh, all these spells, I'm like, shit,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know any damn spells but magic missile right now. So I'm trying to make it give airs that I know more than I do.
it's convincing. I'm wanting to know if you're wanting to interact or kind of get other passive information, or if you're building up your sense of character and importance to your party.
Building it. I'm kind of keeping an eye on what's going on, make sure shit doesn't go down. I'm also keeping an eye on the goblins that you said were there, because I don't much like goblins because they took my dad, and now I got this other guy that's my dad,
Your
Adorius,
stepdad.
the blue, master of the mystical arts, wielder of powers known and unknown, co-founder of the Council of Five, the mightiest wizards in all land.
I want to point out that I have an amazingly cool stepdad, but your stepdad sounds like the goddamn pits.
I will say, as
He's
you're
my mom. He's not my stepdad.
as you're watching the goblins, what's very peculiar about it is that the goblins are wearing like multiple pairs of like spectacles. In fact, the one that seems to be holding the most cards and has the largest stack of like dented copper coins in front of him has 4 pairs of glasses on his face plus a pince nez.
I like that look.
So, getting back to your exchange with Rolgaman, spoke back to you in spider tongue, seems to be aware of Basiliscus, has a contract out from you. You're reviewing that, Abernathy.
Yeah.
It seems relatively standard. So the things that you're catching your attention are certain clauses. Clause 1, that there is to be no payment to next of kin for accidental loss of life and or limb. There is no overtime, no cost for extra equipment. The biggest term of condition that is inviolable is that the package that is to be delivered is not to be opened, and it must be sprinkled with fresh blood once per day, at least. And then upon completion of this and having a returned writ of receipt from Ignis, his little brother, is that the party shall receive a grand sum of 75 gold pieces.
So I've gone over what you have here. I do have some notes and some amendments that I feel that would be necessary on such a thing. First of all, here you have outlined that it has to be sprinkled with fresh blood every day. Well, where come you think we're going to get that? That's going to be at least some emotional damage towards one of the party members here because it's fresh blood, so we can't just carry that around in a bag. You know that, I know that. So let's go ahead and add here underneath this line bloodletting fee. I'll take care of whoever's going to actually be doing the letting of the blood. Do you have a preference on blood type? I believe our friend there in the hood is O negative. I believe that
in Spider, I interject that I don't have blood, and he knows that.
Rogelman kind of interrupts just a little bit of you, Abernathy, kind of like putting a finger to his lips, and he reaches into a different pocket and pulls out a fresh, unnicked, unscratched dagger and slides it over and says, I believe this should be sufficient. Go on, your next item.
My next item would be the per diem that you did not state in here. So obviously the payment for completing the mission important, yes, but we will have some overhead costs as far as upkeep on food, the horses that we will need to be feeding, obviously, for us to travel such a distance. We also need to make sure that we have enough rations. These aren't the normal supplies that we would have for an adventuring party of such this nature. These are more of the things that you would have a general upkeep for a travel that you want us to do. So I feel like reasonable 2 gold per person per day would be more than acceptable.
Rogelman just smiles at all this. He grabs his stange and just holds it and just stares at you. And the entire time he's doing it, the beer is just boiling.
Yeah, I hear that's an excellent way to drink Dr. Pepper as well if you put an orange slice in it. Anyways, back to the per diem.
Man of culture. So he smiles and laughs, and he goes, you're talking about overland travel and horses, and you haven't even asked where you are going. How about this then? I will do it as a lump sum because you understand for both of us in contractual sake that per diem won't make much sense. So if you prefer, and he smiles, I will give you 100 upon completion. In fact, I will give you a whole 10 gold pieces up front so you can buy all the rations you want.
All right, so that should cover most of that. A little shorter than I would like, but I'll call this compromise. Did anyone else want to go over this contract? My 2 big notes, I think, have been taken care of. Pocket's knife.
Nope, just let's just sign that bad boy, and we'll be on our merry way.
I've already lost
Is it
interest in
really?
what's going on. So
My mind is still on boiling
Bridget,
Dr.
we're playing
Pepper
a
with-
game.
you said
I know,
orange?
That's
no,
what's
I
going
mean,
on.
that's what I'm talking about. You guys started talking about contracts, and my little nictating membrane eyelid just closed over, and I
just glazes. I
Yeah.
love that. Scrax, are you listening?
I think- Yeah.
Do you need me to sign for you?
Oh,
My
yeah.
dwarven friend.
Yeah, that's a good point. I totally can sign my own name, but I let him do my signing for me, so that I don't get my hands dirty. I'm like, my hands are filthy with dwarf grease.
He
Yeah.
amends the contract to include those items to update the cost, and you notice that there is a breach of contract clause that has been added, saying that if the package is not delivered and if it is the party willfully neglects the purpose of their intent to suit out to deliver this, that there will be a collector that is sent for both the package and for the party possessing it.
Collector. I don't like it, but it's fine with me.
Yep.
So, did you want us to sign this with ink? I trust.
Oh yes, I'm no demon.
What is the difference between a demon and a devil?
Well,
yeah.
It's
Devils are more law-abiding. Demons are more chaotic. I think.
Aiden, we all, well, you may have an opportunity to ask later. I'll let you learn that one on your own. So you are signing this as a group. It will be contractually binding.
Is it a group signing or is it everyone individually signing?
Well, you've already, from the
assuming it's everyone
conversation,
individually,
early in the conversation, it was asked if this was your crew, and it was
Gotcha.
agreed upon. So you were all bound in this contract.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, then but we're signing. We're all signing individually, right? Because I may need the back of the page.
Yes. How about we'll do that then? That's a little bit more legalistic. Yes.
You have to write out. Yeah.
I have to write out Giles the Bland apprentice and
Five
ward to
most
the
powerful.
Yeah. So
It would
I take up a
the
good
back
portion of the
page.
back of the page. Yeah. Hopefully, I
took me
contractually
a second,
obligated
but I got it, yeah.
Dorius too.
So, are all of you citing it, and I guess getting assistance, like you were saying, Leopold,
Giles, we're gonna name your we're gonna change your name to Giles the Twice Indentured.
Very good.
With that, Rogelman pulls out a pouch with 10 gold pieces in it, ducats, and it's a collection of strange gold coins, all the same size because it's been standardized, but some are very old and some are very foreign with very strange runes on it. It is just a mishmash. He slides it across the table along with a package. It's just wrapped in what seems like brown paper, like thick brown paper, and bound with twine. And this course naturally blood spattered, and it has in very nice flowing script, to Ignis, happy spawning day.
Now, I do have one question. Wasn't part of the contract that we couldn't open said package?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. That would be a violation.
How do we sprinkle it with blood then?
Oh, the outside.
Oh. Well, fine. That's fine. A little less, a little more mundane than I was hoping, but that's fine. It's fine. No, I'm not disappointed. Fine. I'm sure that's just as interesting and mystical.
So you will need to take this. Thank you, all of you, for signing this. You will need to take this package to, well, it would seem a little gauche to say the gates of hell, but the gates of hell. You are going to be taking this. Where
I love it. Yep.
So you were going
That's
to
awesome.
the easiest way to get there to the Infernal Gateway because it connects to the multiverse in different ways. And yes, you could do lots of mass murders to make the gate open, but who has time for all of that? Not I.
I'm not too busy.
All the time in the world right here, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Last time someone murdered enough to make it accidentally open, it was a heyday for the bloodletters. But the easiest and the safest way for you to get there is to take a shortcut through the Stygian Library. I take it none of you have been there. And he kind of laughs to himself. No one knows how to find the Stygian Library unless it's a horrible accident or if you walk the spaces between, like some of us. Rorgelman's beer at this point has turned to dust. And it says, well, you will need to go to, well, that large bookshop up the road. If you go there, and you go there at night, light of the full moon, look for where the moon falls, the moonlight, you will see that there is an unmarked locked door. That is how you get in. And then you can find your way in there. It's the space between all repositories of knowledge and libraries in the world where there's a great confluence of knowledge and sometimes some sordid things. There was once a pretty grisly murder there, and that is what kind of unlocked the key. But it is an infinite dungeon between all libraries connected across space and time. So that is how you're going to find the Infernal Gates.
When would be the next full moon?
And he smiles as if knowingly all along. Why, of course, tonight.
Well, that's convenient.
Isn't it, though?
I am going to kind of lean forward and in spider speak, whisper, you said that this is at a conflux between all realms, all worlds.
It can be a way to go home if that's what you're asking. But not.
Everyone who's listening to this is only hearing chittering,
screeching, and mandible clacking.
yeah.
And to the other members of the party, I'm like, he does that sometimes. Don't worry.
If I find a way home, I will take it. But any of my foes can have my portion of reward. It should be fine.
So you are trying to go home?
I am not exactly welcome here.
Well, there are doors within the library that take you to other places. Surely you had some great libraries back home.
The most beautiful libraries.
Then you can find a door there that will take you back. But not before the contract is done.
Of course. I assume we have to come back through the library to get home again anyway.
No, home is relative. But don't spend all of these in one place as he goes back into common and enjoy yourselves in the inn. Wurmguts gets up and walks out the door. He gives a very strange, hard look at the old woman that has been going table to table. And after like a little bit of an intense stare, Wurmguts has a strange and twisted smile and keeps walking out. And I'm surprised that you took a contract from a devil for just 100 gold, but here we are, the beginning of the adventure.
I mean, we got it up by like what, a third? I don't know. It was 75.
Yeah.
We talked him up. Plus,
That's pretty good haggling.
yeah. He increased the gold, and that's all you guys need to know about.
And most of us are are either too alien or too dumb to know what we've done.
I mean, that's definitely more gold than I've ever seen.
I never
don't
stated
think.
that I signed the contract.